We're so lucky to spend Mother's Day together, but there are hundreds of thousands of kids whose moms are incarcerated this Mother's Day.
So we wanted some kids to share letters that they wrote to their moms.
Dear Mom, hi Mom, I miss you very much.
I know I don't write you a lot, but this letter right here is actually pretty special.
Your second Mother's Day away, I took to Facebook and posted. I love my mother.
But most of all, I miss your love. I miss your hugs.
Every Mother's Day, I listen to all of our favorite songs.
I think about you all the time. At night, when I'm getting ready to go to bed, it makes me think of the most amazing mom that I have.
I miss playing with you and sleeping with you at night.
I miss your smile, and I miss how you always used to say funny things on Facebook and post that. I miss how you used to walk. I can't do it.
I've been having some personality issues. By that, I mean my sexuality. And I wish you weren't in prison so you could be here to help me with it.
School is kind of good, but fighting in school is difficult.
Recently, I was inducted for the National Honor Society at my school.
Something good that's happened to me recently is that I went roller skating.
Mom, I love riding bikes because I just love riding them.
Dear Mom, I will always love you no matter what happened.
And I can't wait to see you.
From your firstborn, Tyshante.
Happy Mother's Day.
I love you, Mom. Sincerely, Giovanna. Happy Mother's Day!
Love, Sanaya, your favorite daughter.
Happy Mother's Day.
Click on the link below to see more love letters to moms.
For a session produced by our underwriter, please welcome Google's Senior Counsel on Civil and Human Rights, Malika Saar.
Hey everyone, it's really an honor to be with you today, and I'm so thankful to The Atlantic for this partnership and this beautiful event that we have been able to do. Almost 2 years ago, Brian Stevenson came to Google, and he challenged us as a company to bear witness, to be proximate to the human costs of mass incarceration. And we have taken him up on that challenge. Over the last 2 years, we have thought through how do we use our different platforms to be able to disrupt the human costs of mass incarceration. So one example of that is love letters. How do we use the platform of YouTube to be able to show what it means to incarcerate a mother or father? But we've gone beyond that. We just finished a documentary on Rikers. And the documentary is in honor of Kalief Browder's mother, Benita Browder. And it is a powerful 12-minute documentary that gives voice to those who have been impacted by Rikers, either because they were put behind bars there or their children were. And I urge you to see it. We have it in the back of the room so that you might be able to have a chance today to see what we've created through the Rikers short doc. We are also spending this year doing convenings in different Google campuses to be able to talk about what we mean when we say justice reform, and what are the areas of justice reform that are required of us. And then finally, I want to be able to make this clear that we have also looked at our own policy at Google. And so in March of 2016, Google formally banned the box for all full-time employees. I also want to make clear that this is the community that I come out of. That before I was at Google, I was a human rights attorney focused on the issue of gender-based violence and justice reform and racial justice. And I spent years going to prisons and talking to women who were incarcerated about how when they were pregnant and behind bars and ready to give birth, they were shackled. Their experience of being shackled and being in that moment, that vulnerable, painful moment of labor and then delivery of their child in shackles. I documented the stories of mothers who, during transport from one jail to a prison, at 7 months pregnant, had a belly shackle over her. I documented stories of mothers who talked about how they were shackled, gave birth, and as soon as that baby was put to their arms, the baby was removed from them, because that's what happens in too many of our jails and prisons. And I've also had the honor and the privilege of being able to work with fierce women like Ashay Jackson and Monique Morris and understand the way that our girls are being criminalized. We talk about the school-to-prison pipeline, but there's also something that we've documented, the sexual abuse to prison pipeline, which is really the girl's story, right? I've met so many girls who were locked up because they were victims of sexual violence. Up to 80% of the girls in our state detention centers are victims of violence, of sexual violence. We lock girls up for running away, but most often they're running from abuse. So we tell women who are abused to run, but when our girls run from abuse, we lock them up on the status offense of running away. And I think the most egregious example of the way that we criminalize our girls for sexual violence is what happens when you're trafficked. And so many of you in this room know that girls in Compton, girls all over this country are bought and sold. And when they are, too often the response is criminalization, that they are locked up for prostitution even though none of them are of the age to legally consent. And so that sexual abuse to prison pipeline that is our girls' story, and that way that we see girls, and especially girls of color, too often denied the status of victim of violence or the status of child. Those lived experiences, those stories of our mothers, of our daughters who are impacted by mass incarceration, those are the stories that we are committed to telling through our platforms at Google. And as a company, we are committed to being able to say that this conversation around justice reform is a conversation that we want to be part of, and that these platforms and this opportunity that we have to educate and to share stories and realities and lived experiences so that we can scale the prison walls. It is our opportunity and responsibility, and we are so deeply honored to be part of this work with all of you and to be able to do this event with The Atlantic. Thank you. I also want to let you know that in the back of the room, we have this cardboard. Defining Justice is this opportunity that we have here as part of Defining Justice to show you VR content that we are creating on solitary confinement. So this is a project that we did with The Guardian, that it's a full audio-visual immersion of solitary confinement. I warn you that it can be triggering, so please know that. We have enough of the cardboard for everybody here. This is an opportunity for those who don't know the experience to be able to understand viscerally for 3 or 4 minutes what does it mean to be in solitary. We also have content that we've created through Riker's documentary that we have back there, as well as content that we've created that looks at all of the work that we've been doing in the last 2 years around justice reform and the work that we've done with EJI on lynching and the criminal justice system and the analysis of the connections between the two. So I thank you. I really hope that you all check that out. Thank you so much.